As science and technology keep on shrouding the hidden mysteries of human history, some histories still appear to be missing vital information that could bring the bits and pieces together as one. Today we'll be taking a look at 5 ancient human mysteries. Sahama Lines of Bolivia. If you're familiar with the incredible lines of the Nazca geoglyphs in southern Peru, then you may be aware of something more magnificent close by. The Sahama lines of western Bolivia might confuse you as a road network crisscrossing each other if you had to look at it from a satellite view, but if you decide to take a closer look, you'll find out the road networks are not road networks at all. They are a network of tens of thousands of nearby perfectly straight paths etched into the desert sand. The geoglyphs were carved into the ground over 3,000 years, and this was by the locals living near the volcano Sahama. Recently, research conducted shows the Sahama lines cover an area of around 8,700 square miles. That's around 22,525 square miles. Each track has a width of 3 to 10 feet, and the lines are around 15 times larger than the area covered by the Nazca lines in Peru. Currently, the Sahama lines are regarded as the most significant artwork in the world. However, their exact origin is unknown. Despite natural obstacles in topography, the lines maintain remarkable straightness which is more appreciated from an aerial view. Each line extends as far as 20 kilometers. The creation of these lines without the help of modern technology is a marvel. They are created by scraping vegetation aside and removing the dark surface, which was a combination of oxidized rock and soil to expose the lighter surface material. In 1932, a traveller by the name of Amy Phoenix was the first to account the Sahama lines. An anthropologist by the name of Alfred brought the lines and cultural landscape to the attention of scholars, and did this by publishing fieldwork about the people of the region. There has been no direct answer to why these lines were created or what tools were used. Many believe the lines were initially used by the locals as footpaths leading to shrines and sacred sites, but this remains unconfirmed. Denisovans. You may be familiar with the humans Homo neanderthalensis, who went extinct around 40,000 years ago, but in 2010, scientists announced the discovery of the Denisovans. In that year, a finger bone of a juvenile female was found in the mountains in Siberia. This same cave, which is also known as the Denisovan Cave, has also been inhabited by Neanderthals and modern humans. A group of scientists from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Germany, led by Johannes Kruse, conducted a DNA sequencing. The results showed that around 1 million years ago the Denisova hominin diverged from a common ancestor well before Neanderthals and modern humans did. The results also indicate the Denisovans were a sister group of the Neanderthals, but differing from the Neanderthals around 30,000 years ago, as opposed to branching off from the human lineage 550,000 years ago. In 2019, a research group found another specimen outside of the Denisovan cave. This jawbone specimen was initially discovered by a Buddhist monk, and it's been suggested it dates to more than 160,000 years ago. A precise feature of the Denisovans is not known because the finger bone, 2 teeth, a toe and partial jaw are the only physical remains discovered. Recently, a new method has been used to give Denisova a face. This method was carried out by using 2 geneticists from the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, and they used epigenetics to analyse gene regulation in long-extinct hominins. This was applied to the finger bone of the woman from the Denisova cave. A broad-faced species looking distinct from both humans and Neanderthals was suggested from the results. However, other researchers caution the image is an imperfect reflection of what species represent, taking to mind the study was based on a single individual, and a relative measurement is gotten from the technique used. When more Denisovan skeletons are found, a better prediction on how they looked can be verified. Where is Cleopatra's tomb? In August 30 BC, at the age of 39, Cleopatra passed away, Cleopatra was the last ruler of Ptolemaic Egypt, and was believed to have taken her life by allowing an Egyptian cobra to bite her. This was after seeing that her lover Mark Antony had taken his own life. Mark Antony and Cleopatra were buried together by the permission of the Roman leader Octavian, who before then had waged war on both of them as recorded by historians. The tomb they were buried in, however, has not been found. According to the historians, their tomb is somewhere around Alexandria. The city Cleopatra once lived, but the exact locations remain unknown to this date. Alexandria has since been hit by quakes, tsunamis, rising oceans, and now lies 20 feet submerged. The tomb of Mark Antony and Cleopatra has interested archaeologists and students of history for ages. This is due to the story of the couple's brilliant history and disastrous downfall. It wasn't until recent decades that archaeologists started to search for the lost tomb. In 1992, Frank Gaudiot, a French underwater archaeologist, led a team in underwater excavations of ancient Alexandria. They were unable to find a tomb even though they uncovered an empty cigarette pack with Cleopatra's name on it alongside other things. After that, archaeologists turned their focus on the desert temples close to Alexandria, and were still unable to find their tomb. Earlier in 2019, Egyptian archaeologists were said to have made a statement by a piece of Italian news that the burial site was at last evaluated, and was said to be in the district of Taposiris Magna, 30 kilometers from Alexandria. This statement was however debunked by Egyptologists. The search for Cleopatra's tomb is still on, as the tomb remains elusive despite all of the treasures that have been discovered. Until the tomb is found, archaeologists will keep on digging. Did the Hanging Gardens of Babylon ever exist? If you can imagine being in the desert and happening to come across a magnificent greenhouse on a hill, filled with different assorted flowers, then you might have a glimpse of how the Hanging Gardens of Babylon may have looked. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon was described to have been built in the ancient city of Babylon. The garden was said to have looked like a greenish mountain built of bricks made of mud filled with a wide variety of trees, shrubs and vines. It was said to have been built by King Nebuchadnezzar II, and this was during the 6th century for his wife. He was said to have been homesick for her homeland of Media. After the alleged destruction of the gardens, there have been no traces of the remaining ruins of the garden till date. There are no first-hand accounts in the Babylonian text that mention the existence of the gardens. The only reports of the garden came centuries later. For centuries, archaeologists have been searching for the location of the garden, with a group of German archaeologists spending almost 20 years from 1899 to 1917. However, they didn't get any results. This made many people believe the garden itself might have been a fable. In 2013, Dr. Stephanie Daly, in her book The Mystery of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, suggested the garden was built a century earlier. None of Nebuchadnezzar's inscriptions had any information about the garden, but texts do exist that showed that he built a garden called a wonder for all people. Some have suggested that the garden did exist but were looking in the wrong place. As researchers delve further into this mystery, they may discover more proof of these large gardens later on. If this happens to be, we can say the Hanging Gardens of Babylon were one of the most incredible places to exist. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. The lost story behind the lost colony started in 1585, when Governor Ralph Lane with other explorers arrived at Roanoke Island, in what is now Dare County, North Carolina, United States. Due to a lack of supplies and poor relationship with the local Native Americans, the colony was abandoned. In 1587, a second colony led by John White was funded by Sir Walter Raleigh, and they arrived on the same island. The expedition was originally to establish the city of Raleigh in Chesapeake Bay, but the pilot of the ship insisted they remained on Roanoke. White's daughter, who was part of the colonists, gave birth to the first English child born on the New World, and was named Virginia. Later that year, White had travelled back to England for reinforcements, but could not return early enough because of the Anglo-Spanish War at the time. When he returned several years later, he found the settlement had been abandoned, but the word Creighton had been inscribed into the palisade. While interpreted the word to mean that the colonists had relocated to the Croatian island, but he and the rescue mission were unable to continue the pursuit due to the stormy seas, and they had to return to England. Whatever became of the colonists is yet to be discovered. Some feel they may have integrated with the local Native Americans. Jamestown colonists gave an investigation report that the Roanoke colonists were massacred, alongside people with European features by the local Native Americans, but no concrete evidence was ever proven. So far, different clues have been found by archaeologists, but none have been able to tell what happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. So what do you think of these 5 historical mysteries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.